So welcome everybody. Today this is before we begin, for those any newcomers today, this is what Motorola Moto. I think most of our regular attendants, so I think I don't have to really repeat who is actually I-Inspire. We are NGO based in Malaysia. So this is the program that we have been running to let me know we share about how Homa Therapy can help in different as a offer as a complementary therapy for all different illnesses. We go by body system actually. We have a team monthly, and we actually do it with Dr. Abel all the way from Peru. So thanks Dr. Abel and Aletta, his wife, beautiful wife, who actually committed monthly, and we work together for the past 40 months. Thank you everybody for supporting our program. And today we are going to look into skin diseases. As we know, skin actually is our biggest organ in our body. Actually, a lot of times when our internal organs may have problems, actually the skin began to show symptoms, signs and symptoms. There is a reason a lot of times you will hear about I think almost every family, either from young children to normal adults to old people, we will very often we will hear them complain about, hey, kids have eczema, then we have hives, Agnihotra, which is medically we call Agnihotra or we call hive, allergies, and then when you get older, then we heard about they have like psoriasis, and some at some point, some people even have like from something look like black dot, like mole, and then develop into skin cancer. So today we have few very interesting cases. Even something is like incurable, like oozing out with discharge, that kind of cases, and doctor doesn't even know what are the real causes. It's like skin infections without known causes. So I think skin is part of illnesses that nobody can escape. I think throughout our life, even we fell, even I think in animals also we see a lot. But today we don't cover animals yet. But one of the coming series we will be talking about, just a preview for you all. But today we are going to look into skin first. So without further ado, let me invite our guest speaker for today, none other than Dr. Lennie. Dr. Lennie, I know that some of even my friends, I introduced them to clinic to see you, right? A lot of them are having like eczema or skin issues like unknown. They can't even I think they went around and they're looking for solutions, but yet they can't. And then I remember one of the boy, you taught him self-hypnosis. You need a hug a bear and then transfer the itchiness to a bear, which is a very interesting therapy.
Yeah. I think if you were to use Homa therapy, a lot of the skin diseases is psychosomatic. When we are not mentally well, or when we have emotional issue, our skin will be the first to be reactive towards that. So a lot of the issues, especially when it's related to affective disorder, meaning emotional disorder, normally it will show in the skin. And this is also quite, because our emotions affects our hormones, and I think Dr. Abel will talk more about that later. But our emotions affects our hormones, and of course then our hormones will affect our skin condition. So based on the way that we treat, of course, is to use the conventional clinical methods. But at the same time, I think the Agni Ash, if you apply to some of the skin problem, can be really helpful. So I have done that a few times with a few people who have very, very severe skin problem. It's an autoimmune issue called eczema. And I do patches, not the whole body yet. because I'm still trialing it, I'm still testing it, and it seems that there has been improvement, and just having that charcoal, that activated charcoal, applied to the skin seems to have an effect on that. So I'm looking forward to what Dr. Abel is going to share with us today, and I'm sure it's going to be extremely interesting, and I'm going to learn a lot from him. And at the same time, I hope to also start to record more cases from Malaysia so that we can share back with all of you in South America. On that note, I'll pass it back to the host, Hooi Lin. Hooi Lin?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Lennie, for your sharing. I remember, I think 4 to 5 years ago, we had a charity project where we made acne balm, and then we distributed them to those homeless, because those homeless, while they are queuing up to get their rice, you remember, and then we distributed the acne balm, where we only mix actually the acne ghee, the ghee, and with the acne ash. And then we distributed, and then the reason being is that Dr. Lennie shared with us that because they are homeless, they are staying all around. So a lot of them have actually skin diseases. And true enough, we saw, like, when they're queuing up to get their rice, so most of them, their skin really have, like, patches or infections and all this. So it's just that we did that once, actually, as one of the charity projects that we were doing. It's just that we didn't have really like a record. So maybe next round when we do this whole project, we have to like really a second round, and then we record it down. But after that, it's like MCO already. We couldn't really like go there and just like to record that. But it was a interesting project when we distributed the acne balm out. It was, I think, about 4 years ago already. Okay, so now without further ado, let me invite Dr. Abel, our key speaker today. Dr. Abel, I think, because I believe also, I remember last time, I think 2.5 years ago, when Dr. Alan shared with us how the first project that he did, also when he did like more to like apply and collect some data, was to using the acne and the balm on the skin. How Dr. Alan, he shared with me, was like on his own grandson, 2 years old with eczema, just came back from overseas, and then he just applied, I think, the ghee and the ash, and he said it worked, and then he extended that to Old Folk Home in Kuantan. That is what Dr. Alan shared with me. So I believe Dr. Abel have much more to share with us. So, Dr. Abel, this is our key speakers, our monthly speakers. So, Dr. Abel, I pass the floor to you now. I will stop sharing the slide so that we can focus on your sharing. Okay.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you, family, for giving us this chance to share. I asked my wife later to start the meeting also with a VEDAS. That is you're in the screen, sorry. Let's see, and let's start with this fire to connect even better.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry. Okay. Excellent. This is a VEDAS. It is done at the beginning of any meeting to help to connect the minds and integrate in such a way that we are placing ourselves in the shoes of everybody around us. Therefore, it creates harmony among the group. It's a very simple mantra, very powerful, and it can be done anytime, except at Agnihotra time. Agnihotra time is the time of sunset and sunrise. At that time, we do Agnihotra, Homa. But this other can be done any other time, and we advise you to. Anytime you have something to discuss, which is a little bit difficult, sometimes you, in fact, if you want to try, it's up to you. But when you have a patient, it takes 17 seconds. This mantra, 17 seconds. You do that, put it aside, and continue. This energy field all around us helps us to do this. Okay, maybe I should also put the ritual of the ground, because sometimes the ritual of the ground doesn't allow you to. 1 second. So take this off there. There's a regular background. Yes, it's not the same to be here than to be here than to be here. Here we're connected, we're integrated. I mean, we can be fused into one energy-wise, because that's the purpose of this fire. So today we have the opportunity of share a little bit of Homa Therapy related to the skin. And the skin is something that we don't pay much attention usually when it comes to health. And we usually look at it as a beauty issue, for the beauty and the beauty, we have a pimple, but usually the beauty side. Now, our suggestion is let's give an idea of what is the skin first. Most of you already know, everybody knows something about it. But let's get a general idea for the sake of people who might don't know the anatomy, physiology of the skin. Then a little bit of pathologies or problems, medical problems, and then we'll go to the benefits of Homa Therapy for all these difficulties or problems. Okay, so any more to say? I'll ask Mrs. Sui to show this the integumentary system or the skin, and
No problem.
we'll have more time later. Question and answer. Let's show first the first video. Get a little light on anatomy and physiology of the skin.
Okay, let's learn something. Okay.
When you hear about your organs, you probably think of your heart or your liver or your lungs. Maybe you picture Captain Nemo playing the organ aboard the Nautilus. Why do they have an organ on a submarine? That doesn't make any sense. But your first associations with that term probably overlook your biggest organ. I'm talking about your skin, the glorious fleshy shroud that keeps the world out and you in. Your skin protects your body against infection and extreme temperatures, maintains your balance of fluids, and even synthesizes vitamin D for your own personal use. Many nerve endings allow you to sense the outside world, and its sweat glands and blood vessels help you maintain a proper temperature and communicate a whole range of stuff from your health to your emotions through things like blushing and flushing and sweating. It also accounts for about 3 to 5 kilograms of your body weight, and if you could spread it out, it would measure up to 2 square meters, enough to cover your bed. The most disgusting paper towel, thin, waterproof, insulating, stretchy, self-repairing, lifetime-lasting quilt on the planet. It comes in lots of different colors. You can cover it up or show it off or tattoo the periodic table on it if you want. And of course, without it, you would basically shrivel up and die in no time. Together with your hair, nails, and sweat and oil glands, your skin forms your integumentary system. And if you've been burned or had surgery or stepped on a nail, you know how fast complications arise when you get damaged. But it also heals Like an everlasting gobstopper, the key to your integumentary system is layers. And although you can't tell by looking at it, your skin actually has 3 of them, each with particular types of cells that have their own skin jobs, to borrow a phrase from Blade Runner or BSG, whichever you like. The epidermis is the only layer you can actually see, assuming that your skin is intact, which is why it's what you think of when you think of skin. It's made of stratified squamous epithelial tissue. But the dermis just below it is where most of the work that skin does gets done, like sweating and circulating blood and feeling everything everywhere all the time. And at the bottom, there's the subcutis, or hypodermis, composed mostly of adipose or fatty tissue. Each of these layers owes its properties and its ability to do its skin job to its unique combination of cells. The bulk of your epidermis, for example, is made up of cells called keratinocytes, which are the building blocks of that tough, fibrous protein keratin that gives structure, durability, and waterproofing to your hair, nails, and outer skin. These cells are constantly dying and being replaced. You lose millions of them every day, enough to completely replace your epidermis every 4 to 6 weeks. That's why if you want to tell the world you love your mom or commemorate your favorite famous physiologist with a tattoo, you got to make sure the ink gets below the epidermis. If there's a cell in the human body that's been responsible for causing the most pride and the most prejudice in human history, it's another epidermal cell, the melanocyte, the spider-shaped cell that synthesizes melanin, the pigment that gives skin its color. I'll spend more time talking later about why skin color differs around the world, but one thing to keep in mind is that both the very palest and the very darkest human skins on the planet have about the same number of melanocytes. Your particular color isn't about the number of these cells that you have, but instead about the breadth of their spidery cellular extensions, which in turn affect the amount of melanin that they contain. But on a cellular level, we're all the same. Now, your skin, obviously, is also your first line of defense when it comes to protecting you from the outside world, so it may not come as a surprise that you have lots of immune system cells in your epidermis as well. These are your dendritic or Langerhans cells, which are kind of star-shaped, and like white blood cells and platelets, they actually originate in your bone marrow. Once they migrate to the epidermis, their long, skinny tendrils run around the keratinocytes and spend much of their time ingesting the unwanted invaders that are trying to sneak around your skin. Finally, rounding out the quartet of epidermal cells, your tactile or Merkel cells occur deep down at the boundary between the epidermis and the dermis, where they combine with nerve endings to create a sensory receptor for touch. What's a little weird, though, is that all of these cells are organized differently in the skin that covers your body. In fact, in some places, you have more layers of epidermis than others. Your thick skin, and yes, that's what it's really called, is the tougher stuff on the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet, and it consists of 5 epidermal layers. Your thin skin covers everything else with just 4. To know what's going on with your thick skin, let's just imagine you're walking around barefoot in the yard, suddenly you feel a shooting pain. You've just stepped on a big old nail, and it's penetrated all of the layers of your epidermis. First, it pierced your stratum corneum, which means, pardon my Latin, horny layer. This is the outermost layer and also the roughest, made of about 20 or 30 sheets of dead keratinocyte cells. This is the layer that you're always sloughing off and feeding to dust mites, but while it's in place, it offers basic protection from environmental threats. From there, the nail drives through your stratum lucidum, or clear layer. This holds 2 or 3 rows of clear, flat, dead keratinocytes that are only found in the thick skin of your palms and foot soles. So in places where you only have thin skin, this layer is what's missing. Things start to get more serious in the granular layer, or stratum granulosum, because this contains living keratinocytes that are forming keratin like crazy. This layer looks kind of grainy because those cells are getting compressed and flattened as they move up through the epidermal layers, maturing as they go. The deeper you go through the layers of the epidermis, the younger the cells get. Regeneration happens in the lower layers, and new cells move up toward the surface, maturing along the way, where they eventually die and slough off from the surface of your skin. This whole process is due in part to the fact that the epidermis is epithelial, so it's avascular. That means that all the oxygen and nutrients that its cells need have to come from the dermis below it. So as epidermal cells mature and get bumped up by younger cells forming below them, they move further and further from the blood supply and end up essentially suffocating. When that nail cuts through the 4th layer, the stratum spinosum, or spiny layer, it's getting closer to the point where cell regeneration or mitosis is active. These cells look prickly when they're dehydrated for microscope slide preparation, the name, and that's because they contain filaments that help them hold to each other. And finally, that dang nail touches down on your deepest, thinnest epidermal level, the base, or stratum basale. It's just a single layer of columnar cells, but it's like a cell factory where most of that new cell production happens. This stratum is also what connects the epidermis to the layer of skin below it, the dermis. Feeling a little overwhelmed by all the layers? Just remember, come, Let's get sunburned. It's a mnemonic. I mean, though, who came up with that? Because if you own some skin, you know, you don't want to get sunburned. The ultraviolet radiation in the sun can damage the epidermis, causing elastic fibers to clump up, leading to that telltale leather face condition. Plus, getting sunburned temporarily depresses your immune system because, remember, you have immune cells in your epidermis too. And the radiation can actually alter your skin cells' DNA, leading to skin cancer. We're going to go into your skin's love-hate relationship with sunlight more next week, but in the meantime, seriously, wear your sunscreen. Now, skin damage can get serious when it affects the dermis because it's not only got loads of those collagen and elastin fibers which help make your skin strong and elastic, it's also full of capillaries and blood vessels. And it houses the nerve fibers that register sensations like temperature, pressure, and pain, as well as parts of your hair follicles and oil and sweat glands with the ducts that lead up to the surface of the skin. The dermis is where most of the skin's work is done, and it does it in just 3 layers. The upper papillary layer is composed of a thin sheet of areolar connective tissue that's riddled with little peg-like projections called dermal papillae. These papillae are pretty neat because in the thick skin of your hands and feet, these tiny protrusions form unique friction ridges that press up through the epidermis to help our fingers and feet grip surfaces, your fingerprints. Just below that papillary layer is the deeper, thicker reticular layer that makes up 80% of your dermis, made up of dense, irregular connective tissue. All of the dynamic parts contained within the dermis, like the nerve fibers and capillaries, are distributed between both its layers. So anytime you get cut enough to bleed or feel pain, you know that you've broken through the epidermis and lacerated the dermis, which, by the way, is the layer that tattoo needles have to reach in order to work. It's the only way to make tattoos permanent, but also it means getting tattoos hurts and bleeds. Finally, something of a footnote to your skin is its third and most basal layer, the subcutis or hypodermis. It consists of mostly adipose connective tissue, basically a seam of fat, and it provides insulation, energy storage, shock absorption, and helps anchor the skin. In short, your hypodermis is where most of your body fat hangs out. But there are more skin things to discuss. So in our next lesson, we will tackle big questions like, does lotion really do anything? How does deodorant work? And what will make my hair soft, shining, and irresistible? For now, though, you learned all about skin, the main organ of your integumentary system. We looked at the structure, mechanism, and function of your 3 layers of skin, the epidermis, dermis, and hypodermis, and their various sublayers. Talk about the roles of melanin and keratin and stuff. What happens when you step on a nail? How to ensure you get a good tattoo, and why it pays to wear.
So that is our first introductions about our
Yes.
the integumentary system.
Okay, this, as we can see, the skin is not just a covering around the body. It's not just that. It's an organ, like you might talk about the heart and the lungs and so on. It's an organ, but instead of being compacted in one piece like that, it's spread. It's spread all around. It's an organ that has been spread over and protect us. And it has many other functions. Okay, because the time is running. Now let's look a little bit into some of the disturbances of pathologies that can occur in this organ. That's going to be brief. This next video is shorter. Then we go talk about the test. I show the test.
Yeah, okay.
So far in this series, we've covered the main parts and the main functions of the integumentary system. In part 3, we'll be going over the diseases of the skin. Let's start with acne. Acne vulgaris is an inflammation of the sebaceous glands. Probable causes are hormonal changes or an increase of sebum oil production. Pustules, papules, and blackheads can develop when the hair follicles are clogged by excessive sebum oil, cosmetics, or dirt. Treatments for this include frequent skin washing, avoidance of creams and heavy makeup, antibiotics, and ultraviolet light treatments. Pustules, papules, and blackheads can develop when the hair follicles are clogged by excessive sebum oil, cosmetics, or dirt. Treatments for this include frequent skin washing, avoidance of creams and heavy makeup, antibiotics, and ultraviolet light treatments. Athlete's foot. This is a contagious fungal infection that usually affects the feet. The skin itches, blisters, and cracks into open sores. Treatments involve using antifungal medications and keeping the area dry and clean. Skin cancers. Skin cancers are the most common types of cancer. There are two major categories of skin cancers. Non-melanoma is a benign cancer and is usually not life-threatening. Melanoma, however, is a malignant cancer. This one usually is life-threatening. Here are the two non-melanoma skin cancers: basal cell carcinoma and squamous cell carcinoma. Basal cell carcinoma is found in the basal cells of the epidermis. The lesions can be pink to yellow-white. The shape of this cancer is smooth with a depressed center and an elevated, irregular-shaped circular border. Squamous cell carcinoma affects the thin cells of the epithelium, but can spread quickly to other areas of the body. This type resembles sores that scale and crust. Melanoma is a malignant cancer. This cancer is the most dangerous form of skin cancer. Melanoma develops in the melanocytes of the epidermis. The lesions can be brown, black, pink, or multicolored. The causes for skin cancer include changes that occur in a mole, excessive exposure to the sun, or prolonged use of tanning bed, irritating chemicals, or radiation. Dermatitis. This is an inflammation of the skin and can be caused by exposure to detergents, cosmetics, pollen, or certain foods, contact with poison ivy, poison sumac, or poison oak. Symptoms include dry skin, erythema, itching, edema, macular papular rashes, and scaling. Eczema is a non-contagious inflammatory skin disorder caused by an allergen or irritant. Diet, cosmetics, soaps, medication, and even emotional stress can cause eczema. Some of the symptoms are dryness, erythema, edema, itching, vesicles, crusts, and scaling. Impetigo is a highly contagious skin infection, usually caused by streptococci or staphylococci organism. Symptoms include erythema, oozing vesicles, pustules, and the formation of yellow crust. Psoriasis is a chronic, non-contagious skin disease with periods of exacerbation and periods of remission. The cause is unknown, but stress, cold weather, sunlight, pregnancy, and endocrine changes tend to precede outbreaks. Ringworm is a highly contagious fungal infection of the skin or scalp. Symptoms are the formation of a flat or raised circular area with a clear central area surrounded by an itchy, scaly, or crusty outer ring. Verruca, or warts, are caused by a viral infection of the skin. Symptoms are rough, hard, elevated, and rounded surface. Thanks for watching, and check out our next video, where we'll cover the medical terminology associated with the integumentary system.
Wow, there's a lot. There's a lot of skin diseases that we might encounter, in life.
Yes, yes. As we can see, there are so many problems that can affect the skin, but also it's very clear for all the medical doctors, practitioners, therapists, that the problems in the skins is not necessarily localized or only just to the skin. In many cases are related to other disorders in the body. Cancer is a common situation. And also we have seen many people with diabetes, and diabetes can generate many type of skin problems in the circulation and so on. And respiratory problems. The skin also is a respiratory organ. It has pores. And through this pore, there is an exchange between the body and the external environment. So there are many cases. It's very difficult to just get one specific, only the skin. Usually there is many other pathologies, and we'd like to just show you some videos where there is a problem with the skin, and at the same time there's other pathologies. We may focus right now on the skin, but we might have to listen to the whole video clip, which is short. At the same time, talks about good qualities of the Homa therapy, but in this case, we'll focus to the skin. Mrs. Hoy, do you have Adardio Piedrahita?
Yes, I have one actually. I have two actually skin diseases, but I can't find the Adardio that you mentioned. But there's another one. The guy, this one, you want me to share first? You see whether is that the correct one?
Adardio one is the had emphysema, pulmonary emphysema, and at the very end he talked about a surprise of skin cancer that he have on the arms, and he have gone to the U.S. He was treated and also for 20. Anyway, he got healed with Homa therapy. If you have that one,
the one that he was talking with Dr. Montufa.
Yes.
Okay, the one that
No. He was a patient of Tomatuba, but there's another one. Talking about.
Is it the one that he was from US? But his name is he's from Vince.
It's Adardio Piedrahita, pulmonary emphysema.
Let me share whether you see. I show you the face first, the patient, because I recognize the patient face. Okay, let me share. Okay, is this? Because this
yes, that's it.
Yes,
you got it. That's it.
Okay, so correct. Yeah, I prepared the correct one. Okay.
What is your address? I live at kilometer 9 of
I think I start from the beginning.
My name is Adardio Piedrahita Morales. What is your address? I live at kilometer 9 of Via Cumbia Sotomayor. Where are we now? In Vinces, Ecuador. In Ecuador, yes. In the park, La Granja. Tell us about your experience with Homa therapy. What was ailing you before and what happened next? The disease I had was detected many years ago in the United States, in 1981 to be more exact. And I have lived with this disease for some 30 odd years, close to 30 years now. And I reached a point where my health situation became critical. I could not sleep, I could not laugh, I could not talk because I immediately got asphyxiated, feeling the lack of oxygen. And so, until today, I have lived with this disease, taking great care to avoid many things such as smoke, dust. I couldn't go near sanding machines, nor go by where they painted furniture, etc. When the engineer Hernan Poza invited me to Peru, to Piura, to a session of Homa Therapy, which several people attended. Among the things that caught my attention was that you had to be in the middle of the smoke. So I told him, I said that I wouldn't get close because that would be bad for me, for the lung disease. But they told me to get closer without fear, that it wasn't going to hurt me, but I didn't. I didn't get close. Let me tell you, I have always carried some inhalers with me, sprays named Ventolin or other brands, 2 or 3 in my pocket for emergencies, because if I did not carry an inhaler, my life was in danger. I could have suffered a cardiorespiratory infarction. When I returned, Dr. Carriel invited me to the Homa Center, which is located on the Zenaida Hacienda, and I decided to go. He told me to approach the fire without fear, that nothing bad happened to me because of the smoke, that the smoke was going to cure me. And since I was well equipped with my inhalers, I told him, well, I'm gonna take a risk and go into the smoke. And I went into the smoke. There, I began to inhale it gently as they told me to do. And instead of feeling a lung problem, as I had felt on other occasions, I felt a relief. This is a smoke that makes you want to keep smelling it. That is, I even felt invited by the smoke to keep inhaling it. One would like to eat that smoke, but I expected the negative reaction of this disease because every time I inhaled some smoke, I had some pulmonary crisis, sometime between 30 minutes to 4 hours later. So I imagined that I was going to have a very, very strong crisis. I was prepared with my inhaler, waiting for the reaction, but I never had it. That discomfort, as they say, that crisis, I never had it again. And now I come all the time to the therapy. I am the first to light the pyramid, to make the fire, and smell the smoke in front of more than 100 people who attend the therapy daily at the Zenaida Hacienda. That is what I can tell you about my lung disease. Now, I am going to tell you something else that was not originally part of this testimony about my situation. It is about a cancerous sore that I had in my arm, which was diagnosed as skin cancer, and I was getting raw sores. As you can feel here, only the traces of that disease that I have suffered are left. The skin lesion no longer bleeds. I can now rub my hands vigorously every time. Look, the mark has remained, nothing more. Here was something, a protuberance of the skin with scales, that every time I removed those large scales, it took a whitish look, that by the way, has just left a mark. As you can see here, a minimal trace of that skin disease. That may be the testimony that I can give, because now I have become a regular attendee of Homa Therapy, and I have become a promoter of the Homa Therapy as well. A good part of the people who are here today have come thanks to my efforts, with the help of a friend of mine whose name is Sergio Elizalde, who has done me the favor of letting me use his radio station to let people know about the therapy, and also airs some commercial spots that maybe you have already heard. He did all this publicity at my request. I am also ready to collaborate everything that is needed in terms of the healings done with Homa Therapy. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Very well. As you can see, Dario was diagnosed with this cancer and he was afraid of telling anybody. And I remember many of his friends, they told me that he was a strange fellow because he was always wearing long sleeve shirts. And when the weather is very hot, and most people just want to take off the clothes or have a very short t-shirt or something like that, he still was covering the whole top and the arms. And later on at that day, when you heard him talking, is where we realized why. Say he got that was so ugly, so horrible that he wanted to cover it. But it disappeared. It just even left some marks, but it was healed. Okay, this is one beautiful that it was very obvious, and he was treated with the best doctors in some of the best doctors in the U.S. But anyway, that's one case. Let's share another one.
Well, I think I just asked first before everybody asks these questions.
Yes, good idea, good idea.
How these patients apply for his actually for his skin cancer? Did he apply how he applied Homa? Did he just perform, he drink, or he does everything, including application on the skin? Because this is a usual questions that all the participants will ask. So I asked first.
That's true. No. Well, first of all, he did a fire, Agnihotra, daily. So that, the inhalation goes through the respiratory system and it passes through to the circulatory system, and it passes to the whole body, and that includes the skin. Goes there through the respiration. And he took also Agnihotra ash orally several times a day with whatever he drank that was liquid. He will combine and drink it. So that also will help the whole body. Remember now that we, on this series, we are departmentalize, one portion of the body, study one portion and some pathologies. But the body, it works as a whole. It's a holistic system, truly. It's a combination of all the system into one. So whatever happened to one, in one way or another, affects the others. But he applied Agnihotra ash with ghee in some of these wounds or melanomas. He applied that. And at the end of the day, I'll show you some pictures of the latest case. There is a latest case of a young boy that had this problem with melanoma. And it was very horrible, but I'll show you at the end. But in this case, and there we have the pictures where they're applying the Agnihotra ash and so on. With him, we didn't have any pictures because nobody knew about it. He kept it for himself and he didn't tell anyone for years. But it was getting worse and worse, and he didn't want people to look at him and run away, so he kept it all the time covered. And then that day, he revealed what had happened. So most cases where there is something on the skin, they use Agnihotra ointment. That means Agnihotra ash, which have been produced correctly, and it have been make it like a powder, and then combined with ghee, and then apply on the skin. And every day can be done, no problem. So this is what we know about him. As I said, we didn't collect the pictures at the time because he kept it secret. And you know how it is. It's like not as the same, but people who have AIDS, HIV positive, they don't tell anybody. Nobody will know about it because people run away, even the family members, everybody is afraid. So they will learn about many times afterwards, and they in a quiet mode, say, please don't tell anybody. Yes, I'm telling you only, but that happened. But in this case, we'll show another one.
So his melanoma is non-malignant. His melanoma is non-malignant, is it? It's non-malignant.
this was,
He can keep for
yes,
secret for many years. Oh.
yes.
Mm.
Many times when we hear about it, I mean, of the healing are the malignant ones. In fact, sometimes they have been metastasis to other parts of the body. And but whatever it is, it can be helped and sometimes eliminated completely. Okay, definitely. So I need another question.
No, no more from me because I just asked the questions that nobody asked asked by the participants.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
By the way, we do have some people here that has some connection with Homa therapy for some time also in different parts of the world.
Yeah,
If in any instant you want to talk about any of the experience related to what we're talking about, please feel free, raise your hand and share. We're all learning from everybody here. We share for all our experiences, but we don't, we acknowledge that the information is everywhere, the blessings are everywhere with Homa therapy, and it's just wonderful to hear other experiences. Okay, so okay, Mrs. Lee Kim, she's raising the hand there.
I have a question. I've experienced healing, but then lately, sort of, it has come back. You know, I had experienced healing in my heart problems or no, but these few weeks I'm feeling very tired because of the heart problems. So what is missing in between?
Good question. Good question. Are you doing Agnihotra morning, sunrise and sunset?
Yes, I do sunrise and sunset, but for this week, I was not able to do one. It's because I had some other things in the evening and I'm tired. So I said, okay, from Monday to Friday, I did not do. I start to do the sunset, but morning I keep, because morning time is a very good time where I do Tai Chi or yoga before the Homa. Then I sit in the sun and meditate because the energy is very good. But these few weeks, I think the last 4 weeks, I just had like a relapse. I don't feel good. Is it healing crisis? Or I've not been taking the Homa ashes that regularly because I have it here, but I always forget to put it inside my food. So I just want to see whether is it healing crisis or something has changed.
Well, I might say that I don't think it's any healing crisis, but it's the lack of continuity. Or, if you do every day and take the ash every day, the process of healing continues. It might go a little up and down, but if you stop serving, if you don't do it every day and you're not taking the ash every day, then it's like for example, somebody comes to the doctor, he has an infection, the doctor says, this is a critical thing, you have to take antibiotics every day, so many times, 3 times a day, for 10 days, 2 weeks, whatever. And if you don't do it, there is a possibility there is a relapse. It's going to aggravate. So my suggestion will be just go back to the fires daily. Don't make any excuse, whatever. Nothing is more important than you. Nothing is more important than you being healthy, and take the ash no matter what. And then tell me after 3 weeks. And it should be much better. By the way, remember, Agnihotra does not imply that we are not going to leave the body when the time comes. Whenever the time comes, whatever we do Agnihotra and take the ash, it doesn't, it's not going to stop the angel of this transition to come and tell us, okay, time to go. No, but it's going to help us if we have to go through the process. Many people don't have to go to the other side very soon. They're giving them, they extend the visa when you were doing the Agnihotra fire and take the Agnihotra. If it is good for you to still be around here. But many times also, you know, if it is time for you to go, it's okay as long as we can go happily, you know. The problem is when you have pain, you have discomfort and things like that. So, suggestion, do Agnihotra daily, take Agnihotra daily. Don't prioritize anything else besides the self, okay? And then let us know, okay? You are going to be happier and happier. There's the problem with Homa Therapy and these fires. You get happy and happy even in spite of all the problems. Sometimes you might have a little discomfort. It comes and goes, and you're still happy. Okay. It's okay, Mr. Lee? Mrs. Lee?
Yes, there is a lot of fears has removed. Basically, I have no fears. I had fears. I had certain things that I was not happy with, but it removed most of my fears, and I meet new practices because I want to be a Shakta. I want to do daily worship. So I've got the people who can help me to do daily worship because I'm Hindu. You see. I practice all those things. So I wish to have Isha Shakti and Isha Murti. Isha Shakti is the willpower to will whatever I want, and Isha Shakti is to die when I need. Isha Murti.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Everything is possible. The beauty of this Homa Therapy also is it is compatible with other practices. Tai Chi, Qigong, pranic healing, yoga. Right after we finish this, we have a group waiting in the park here nearby where we are. We're doing yoga in the park. It's so beautiful. But whatever practice you do, you know, is wonderful. Along with the fires, is like I tell the people, you know, when you do the fires, literally, light beings come around you, and they accompany you there. You don't have to believe this; it's just a personal thing. But whatever you do, you have assistance, and that assistance is always helpful. So keep doing all the practices. You don't have to give up anything that it help you, you know. Automatically, if you're doing something wrong, that it will be revealed to you, and you will move away from that. For example, if you're taking some drugs, some things like that, your really body doesn't want it, you'll take it out. But this is your own decision. You know, it's not like somebody is imposing on you. This is to have that kind of ability is already a gift. To find out what is good and not so good, to have that senses keen enough is already a blessing. Okay, so keep doing your practices. You're gonna do well. Send us a picture. I like to have pictures of people doing the fire. Maybe with a short story.
I do document how I look when I started and how I look now. There are changes, and I did have one time I was feeling a bit giddy. Now I'm feeling then suddenly I was doing the Homa reducer Bisopol load by half from 2.5 go to 1.25. I cut it by half, and then it's okay. Now maybe I have to go back to 1.25. All these messages do come. They do come, and you feel the changes in the time from when it comes from dawn to sunrise, the Brahma Muhurta time, and then to the evening, the Sanja time. You can feel the changes in the energies.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. It is so wonderful. I can tell you, for example, when we go here to the park and do the yoga there, we do a Viruti Oma, like we do at the beginning here, and you can see the birds. They come around, they start walking around us, and this is happened right there, and they start singing and all this. Who tell these fellows to do that? Nobody. They just, in fact, the grass, should I say, the soil where we were, there was no grass. Now there is grass there. The divine tells you in many ways, if you open your eyes, that is something good occurring around you. Just keep the fires and keep spreading the light of these angels. Okay, let's go for another testimony, Mrs. Sui.
Problem. So what is the next
Okay.
one?
It could be Dr. Montufar with
The
gentleman that have cancer, skin cancer also, and he have vitiligo.
So
Vitiligo is a whitening of the skin, leukoderma, and vitiligo. He had this problem also. He have other problems, but we're
see
gonna
our
focus
Dr.
on
Montufar.
that one.
He's
This is
actually
Dr.
our
Jaime
regular
Montufar.
guest. He's our co-host every month.
Yeah, he has thousands of patients.
Yeah, just hold on. Let me like this.
Muy bien, estamos en el Centro Médico Homa Buen Pastor. Estoy con el paciente Jacinto Lore. Él viene de la provincia de Guayas, ¿no? En el Nepal. ¿Okay? Él vive aproximadamente como a 120 kilómetros de la ciudad de Guayas. Él presentó hace 2 años cáncer de piel, diabetes e insuficiencia renal. Él vino prácticamente en una silla de ruedas, lo trajeron, no podía caminar, le habían dado 3 meses de vida, ¿no? Y ustedes pueden ver ahorita, miren, inclusive él tenía vitiligo y solamente una porción aún tiene recidiva, que es aquí, ¿no? Algo de vitiligo ha quedado, eso es lo único que queda de vitiligo en todo el cuerpo. Y estas manchas que están aquí, ¿no? Y estas cicatrices son producto del cáncer de piel, es lo único que queda todavía. ¿No? Después de 2 años de tratamiento, él tenía mucho prurito, se rascaba mucho, sí, ¿no? Okay. Inclusive por la diabetes tuvo ceguera, pero actualmente la está recuperando y está comenzando a ver, ¿sabes? Entonces este es un caso bien especial. Inclusive los hijos le pidieron que él reparta la herencia porque él tiene muchas tierras donde él vive, entonces él repartió la mayoría de las herencias y se quedó con un poquito. Inclusive habían pagado una misa de difunto ya porque pensaban que él ya se iba a morir. Y se quedaron con todo eso listo, no lo han usado todavía, pero yo creo que no lo vamos a usar en mucho tiempo.
Usted dice que tenía vitiligo en todo el cuerpo, todas
tenía
manchas.
Vitiligo, manchas así, ¿no? Manchas blancas. Ella es la sobrina. ¿Cuál es su nombre?
Claro.
Pero yo cuando estaba en esas condiciones antes. Cuando tenía vitiligo, cuando tenía todas esas problemas, pensamos que se iba a morir.
Sí.
No
Está con los medicamentos ahí al día.
Él practica terapia Homa. Él practica terapia Homa, tiene su triángulo, él hace los juegos en la mañana y en la tarde, ¿no? Y también cuando hay fuegos especiales como Creambatán y Rudra, él siempre está presente y listo para colaborar. Inclusive en algo de las tierras que él tiene ahora destacado, van a activar la tienda para poder producir un poco más.
Activar con terapia Homa.
Activar con terapia Homa. Bien. ¿Tu nombre de nuevo? Diga su nombre, por favor. Víctor Alberto Lorber. Ya cumplió ¿cuántos años? De 70.
Okay, that's all the sharing from our 73 years old testimony. Skin cancer.
He had diabetes. He have skin cancer. He have kidney failure. Or no kidney failure, renal insufficiency. Okay, and he had even blindness besides vitiligo. Blindness. He has so many things, and you can see him. In fact, all his children, all they told him he had to distribute the land, the inheritance, because he was going to be gone in no time. It was like, on the almost going to the other side. So they did. In fact, they even paid for the mass. The mass is the religious practice, when somebody's about to say goodbye. So they prepare everything. Went to Homa Therapy and something happened. The vitiligo disappeared. The skin cancer disappeared. The blindness disappeared. The renal insufficiency disappeared. And you saw it. Don't believe anything. I tell people, don't believe anything. But the niece was there. He said, that's true. It was all white. Now look at it. It's only little some spots there. So this can happen. These things can happen. And you know, when the years come, the immunity goes down, everything goes down, and it's a little bit more difficult. But as I said, sometimes the visa can be extended. So we continue a little longer here with them by the grace. Okay, very good. Thank you, Mrs. Hui. Let's go for Mrs. Hui, for Puja. Puja is
Oh,
even though
it's a very serious case.
that's a skin problem. If you don't think that is a skin problem, you let me know.
As everybody had taken their dinner, make sure not eating and watching this. Okay, let me share this.
You know, the treatments are unbelievable. Let's listen to that one. That's a very short one. And then I'll give you the surprise.
देवी निकाली थी बहुत बड़ी, इतनी बड़ी कि मेरे को भी मालूम नहीं। बच्चे की ये लड़की मेरी, फिर हम दुल्हे ले गए उसको, तो दुल्हे से बहुत सीरियस हो गई थी, इतनी सीरियस कि कोई बोलेगा नहीं कि वो अच्छी होंगी ऐसा। तब डॉक्टर ने बोल दिया था कभी कुछ होगा नहीं। फिर 15 दिन हम दुल्हे में रहे और जवाहर फाउंडेशन है ना वही रहे थे हम। वो देवा 5 साल की थी, जब हुआ देवा 5 साल की थी। उसके बाद उसने हमने बहुत डॉक्टर को दिखाया, उसको सब अच्छा हो गया। डॉक्टर ने बहुत कोशिश की, सब अच्छा हो गया सब। हाँ
English में this is her daughter, and she is having some wrong injection problem, side effect of sulfa drugs, and all her body, from her body, blood is leaking from her body. And see this photo, blood is coming from whole the body, and this lady is 20,000 for 21 doctors. Still doctors say there is no use, please go to home and let her die. But after we gave her Agnihotra ash, and within a month, she is looking normal girl, and you can see her face like a normal. How she is very happy, and her mother is also very happy.
सब इनकी वजह से हुआ है सब। दिलीप पटेल से मेरे घर पे आए, उनका मेरा कांटेक्ट हुआ।
I have given that lady Agnihotra ash, and within 1 month it cures, and you can see the results. This is a previous photo, and latest you can see her face. Doctor say her disease was incurable. You can see the results.
She is also performing the Agnihotra, doing Agnihotra. कुछ साहब ने मिसिस ने ड्रॉप दिया बनाने का, ड्रॉप से अच्छा हो गया, थोड़ा फर्क है।
Her name is Puja Dharmendra Jain.
मेरा उषा धर्मेंद्र जैन।
Usha Jain in Parola, Maharashtra, in India.
In India.
Let's give her a applause.
They were at the top of the roof with the people. There she is. This is the one. All these people saw her when she was having all those problems. So the first time I got some pictures from this case. We were in Peru, and I said, "This is not possible. This is, we have seen so many things, but this is impossible. This is out of the, this I have to see it and take pictures or something to believe it." So then we went to India, and we gathered all the people around and collected this information and these photos and so on. This is what can happen. And don't believe anything, but this is interesting, very interesting. By the way, among the group here in the gallery, we have Mr. Agnihotra Kulkarni. If you see the gallery, you open that, you will see a young man called Agnihotra Kulkarni. His father, they do the fires also. He's a medical doctor in India, and they have seen good experiences also with Homa therapy. Hopefully, we'll be with him on before the end of the year. There, maybe we'll visit, and we're planning to go to India and do some Homa fires promotion, touring, and activities. It is wonderful. It is wonderful, especially with in such a place where there is highly trained medical people and with a big heart that want to serve and serve and serve. This, and they do the fire. Okay, so I think there was okay. Now let me share with you these cases. This is the one of the latest one that we have here. Is a, let me see if I can open 1 second. Uh-huh. Okay, let's share the screen. Okay. Can you see there?
Can see very clearly. Whatever.
Okay, this is in the on the leg, close to the foot.
Humor. Right bottom close.
That is a melanoma skin cancer. This is a young boy who is 92 years old. 92 years old. Diabetes for 30 years. 30 years. For 25 years, he has been injecting insulin. And he has so many problems. They have told him that could be metastasis and he was going to lose the leg and so many things. And he just wanted to say goodbye. You know, you get so depressed, you cannot do so many things. But let's see if we can share some more. 1 second. Let me show you a picture of him. That's him over there. You see? This is Mr. Sebastian Hernandez, 92 years old. I said diabetic for 30 years, 25 years with insulin, and he has heart problems, hypertension, and this melanoma, and so on. But during the fire, his life has been transformed, and nowadays he can get up, he can walk, he can do so many things, and that is one of the. In fact, we're going to meet him today. This is 1 hour, almost 1.5 hours from where we are now. His wife is the. His daughter is the wife of the mayor of the city, the second biggest city in the north of Peru. It's called Sullana, and his daughter is a nurse, and she has been doing applying the Agnihotra ash and doing the fire together with the father, sunrise, sunsets every day, and taking the Agnihotra ash. There, you see, these are some pictures. These are some pictures. I don't have the chronological order right. You know, where is smaller is the more recent one, the biggest one where these are treating. Can you see?
Yeah.
Really, this is here you can see how I have been. Look at this one. This is the most recent one. Look up from all these things before. Look up from here. How he have changed. You see that these doctors didn't want to touch anything here. He said there is nothing to do here because we touch it and it's gonna be worse. As we say, he was in such a bad shape, so they said, you know, let it go. Let the divine take care of that. He will go and so on. But something, the mother, the daughter, which is a nurse, start treating with Agnihotra ash and giving the Agnihotra ash orally and doing the fire with them. And look at what's happening. Reduce and look at here. Okay, believe or don't believe, the same food. You can see this is the daughter, the lady in the front, and he's behind Mr. Sandile. And the mother, the daughter is Mrs. Ruth. Now, this is where being treated. And they're doing the fire here, Agnihotra fire. Okay, at home, in their homes. Okay, so let's stop here because we're getting close to closing time. All right. Now you do have the possibility and the chance to have the same around there. No expectation, we cannot give false hope to the people about what it's about to happen. If there is the divine will, it will overcome this problem and continue with us. If it is divine will, it will go to the other side. But usually, if that's the case, it goes without pain and discomfort and joyful, because it feels something else different. You know, it's like we're You realize you're here temporarily. You're a tourist. We are tourists here, no matter even though we look like residents, but we're still tourists. We are given a visa, come here for a short time, and then we go to another one. We go back home. Any question, any comments? Any questions, any comments?
This is very impressive, the last case. I thought the puja is already shocking. This one is really
That was like,
shocking. Yeah.
I mean, that was like this. Because the doctors here know, you see, first thing when I saw this, I touched the skin on the foot when I was there, and it was cold. You know, it's cold. I touched, he didn't feel the hand. I went with the needle. He didn't have any feeling. It was cold. There was some smell. There was some necrosis, and the doctor were talking about amputation.
Is he having diabetic also? Is a diabetic patient also? Is he a diabetic patient also?
He's diabetic, 30 years diabetic, 30 years diabetic.
Yeah.
Okay. And 25 years taking insulin, injecting insulin.
Correct,
And
yeah.
so he was in the heart and all this. So, but I do this now. The food is warm. Now he has sensation. He moved the fingers, he walk, and all this kind of. Before it was not possible. I should have one where he's standing up so you can see it, but I didn't take the picture here. So we'll see for the next one, hopefully. Maybe today we'll see. Today we'll see him. Okay. Questions? 92 years old. 92 years old. He only have been. I was in March, 23rd of March when we started. We are March, April, May, June. This is like 2.5 months, more or less. 2 months, March, April, May, June, 2.5 months, more or less. That's what we have seen there.
Oh, so you were saying that the changes that you show us in the photo are like within less than 3 months this year?
Yes.
Oh, it's very impressive. Now it's like just like those diabetic food, normal diabetic food.
Well, it's still, still recovering, but it's a big thing.
Yeah.
He was hopeless. He was a hopeless case. We receive many hopeless cases, people who have been, and people who are willing to do Agnihotra morning and evening, take the ash and do everything we say, are the ones who don't have any other choice. Whatever other choice was is okay. So that's, but we invite people to just try it and then questions and comments before we finish because we have to run. We have
anything to add on?
I think the testimony speaks for themselves. I think it is important for us to just try it, like what Dr. Abel says. There's no point for us to sit back and say, oh, it didn't work or all that. But when you try it, you must follow the process and you must do it consistently. I think consistency is very important when it comes to this kind of alternative treatment. And the process is also very important. So for example, it is like, okay, we give you phototherapy, but we don't give you medicine. So maybe you have to, it will work, but it will only work to a certain degree. But if you do phototherapy and take the medicine itself, it will work better. So in this way, the fire is the phototherapy, the medicine is the ash. So why don't you just follow the process, take the ash, do the fire twice a day. That's the dosage, and then you see what will happen. And please, when something good happen, don't keep it to yourself. Report it to us. We are here every month. Report it to us, and let us see how we can help each other to fix the problems that seems to be unsolvable. Over back to you, the host, Hooi Lin.
Okay, just one. Let me share back my PPT.
Before we finish, let me say hello to everybody and salute because to say goodbye. There are some people, nice people here, and
Not yet goodbye.
and
Well, you can share first, but not yet goodbye. I still have a next month topic to share.
okay. Well, anyway, okay. I'll let you do it, Mrs. Sui. Okay, thank you.
You can go ahead, no problem. You want to
No, I just no. There are some people.
Dr. Abel, actually, one of my patients is in here with a skin problem, but then we run out of time, so it will be another time that we will bring other people in. All right, Hooi Lin, I think we better wrap it up because Dr. Abel has to go.
Yeah. We would like to invite that those that who have tried out, maybe for example this month you heard about what we shared and then you go back and try. So maybe next month you can just join us back and then you can share with us what is actually your life experience, and then you remember like last few series sometimes like Dr. Abel did invite some of the testimony themselves to share life with us, and then you can ask and then you can really share and then we can like share your joy together. Okay, so let me share what will be the topic for next month. Okay, so this Sunday, as usual, 2 days after our webinar, we will have a group ACME, but this month we try to do slightly different so that we try to do together with people who are not in KL, Kuala Lumpur as well, because sometimes we heard that, hey, why only for people in Kuala Lumpur? So we try to connect via Zoom with everybody. So this Sunday, we will share the link out to everybody. So we try to do just connect via Zoom and then we perform it together. So let's see how the energy go around. So we are trying something new also this Sunday, okay? So this Sunday evening ACME, let's join together via Zoom. And then this is a announcement for next month, July. We'll be having our monthly webinar on the 12th, Friday again, which is the second Friday. And we are talking about our senses, diseases of our senses from eyes to ears to nose, all this. So let's see what are the cases that we have. Interesting, right? Yeah, we never thought about our senses also, maybe sense too much or what, we will have diseases of this part. So this is about next month.
It's rarely a straight line.
Anybody want to speak? Okay, so this is again, before we wrap up, just to share with everybody, this webinar is organized by Persatuan I-Inspire, an NGO in Malaysia. So in between, before we get into our next month webinar, if you have any question, any suggestion, or you have any good testimony that you would like to share with us, please you can share with us via Messenger in our Facebook, Instagram, or email to us, or our WhatsApp, our care line. We welcome any sharing or suggestion. Okay, so now, okay, I have completed all my sharing, and then I pass the floor back to Dr. Abel. I think he wants to highlight something. Don't go yet, everybody. You need a good photo later.
Good photo. Okay, let's get a photo before we go.
Yeah. Can everybody, it's convenient, can you turn on your camera and smile?
Let's see. Chris, good to see you. Okay.
And smile.
Smile, everyone. Beautiful. You can show up, no? 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Now, my wife is there also.
Yeah, thank you. And we have our YouTube series uploaded until the 12th series already. I'm going to post in our chat room. So those who miss our class webinar, you can share with your friends, and please, because we have left, I think, a few more series only. I think when you join live, it's better because you can ask any questions that you like. So I will share in our chat room. So Dr. Abel, you want to, just now you say that you want to highlight or you want to share?
I would like to say Om Shri. Om Shri is a vibration for creating harmony at all levels. Om Shri is a mantra to create harmony. You know the triangle like this. Well, Om Shri is a multiple triangles and so on. The Shri Yantra. What you see in the background is the Shri Yantra. And it's the vibration of the Om. Om Shri family. All love. See you soon. All blessings. Keep shining. Keep shining. How? Loving, 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 loving. Om Shri.